Health and happiness for our patients and ourselves is what we are all looking for. My search for the similimum for my patients led me to at every step examine my failures. The reworking of these cases led me from the mathematical totality of repertorial analysis to seeing the totality as a complete picture, to recognizing what great artists like Leonardo da Vinci and Salvador Dali had already done, that there is a picture behind a picture. In other words, in our cases, we see that there is an outer reality and a delusional state of the patient. So a patient working in a white-collar job, a clerk, has anxiety about finances, fear of poverty. It looks like calcarea carb, or calcarea floor to be more precise on the outside. But as we went deeper into the case, we recognized the delusional state, that is, that the person feels like a king responsible for his subjects, and his anxiety seen on the surface stems from this delusion of a king needing to be responsible for his subjects. Thus, he actually needed the similimum of aurum metallicum. We had barely time to enjoy the light of this moment when some other cases prodded us on to recognize that the delusional state is one of thought and emotion, and that thought and emotion are secondary to the primary, which is the pure experience of the state. The pure experience is one that is documented and recognized by our five senses. The reflection, the secondary, can be blurred, but the primary is very clear and well defined. The leap to the similimum goes to the primary state through the five senses. Parallel to this development in cases, the in-depth provings added a deeper dimension to the understanding of the state and the similimum. Jeremy Scher's hydrogen, Tominello's molybdenum, and Misha Nolan's falcon are examples of this. For me, lac felinum brought a deep understanding of the state. In the lac felinum proving, which lasted for a month, at the end, as the provers gave all their symptoms to the supervisor, and we sat together as a group who started the proving to pool the data and see what the state of lac felinum was. What came through in every prover strongly through their symptoms, through their mind, through their dreams, was a delusion as if I am a prostitute. One of the proving supervisors at this time went to British Council Library, as was his usual habit, and as he was crossing through the book racks, the book with a picture of a cat obviously caught his eye. He brought that book home and brought it to our next group meeting as we were pooling the data together. As I leafed over the pages of this book, written by a man who had spent 6 months in a basement, 24 hours, watching a family of cats, I realized his very experience on observations were more than just a proving. At the end of his observational data, as he traced the history of the evolution of a cat, he wrote, "The cat has evolved from a wild Egyptian cat. This cat ran the danger of becoming scarce, becoming extinct, as human habitation cut down a lot of the wildlife and the wild trees cutting down their natural habitat. Food became scarce in the jungle, but became abundant around the human habitation. To survive, the Egyptian cat wanted the food around the human habitation. But it would not be accepted or welcomed because it was wild and would be shot down or killed if it came near the human habitation. Over centuries, he documents, this wild Egyptian cat has transformed itself into the domestic cat of today, so that we as humans will allow it in our vicinity. From its side, this wild, independent Egyptian cat allowed itself to get domesticated and to be petted in order to survive and gain the food. He then wrote, in a sense, the cat has prostituted itself for its survival. As I read this statement, or I see it even now in the book in front of me as I speak, a chill ran down my spine as I then realized that the state and the provings are not distinct and separate from the source. They are but expressing in a human language for our understanding the very story, the very language, and the very conflict of the very source. As we then see that repertory and materia medica at their depth are nothing but expressing the hidden language of the source, it will come as no surprise to you, therefore, that as you begin to do this method, the leap to the similimum, and follow the five senses directly to the state, the case will take you to the source of the similimum.